So I'm Johan, I work at TransferWise. If you don't know TransferWise, then we do international money transfers and we have an iOS app. And I'm going to talk about DYLD3. So if you don't know what DYLD is, then you're in a good place. Because you learn about DYLD when things are going wrong. But what the hell is DYLD anyway? So DYLD is the thing that launches your app on iOS and on macOS. So it's everything that happens before the main function gets called in your app code. So if your app launch is slow before main, then this is what DYLD is doing, and that's why I know about DYLD, because we're having problems with our launch speed. And so this is how DYLD2 works, and Apple just gave them random version numbers because they haven't been versioned before. And this will all run in your process. So all these steps will happen when your app launches. And there's a pretty bunch of steps. So the parse macro headers means that it will look through your code, see what your code references, all the libraries that your code references, and it will find all the dependencies of all the libraries, that these libraries are references, and it will go through all this graph when your app launches. Then it will map macro files to your app's memory. So these things need to be to your memory. It will perform symbol lookups from operating system. It will do bind and rebase because we are using address randomizing. So all your pointers need to be rebased to wherever place your app is being launched in memory. And then it will run all the static initializers that your Objective-C or C code might have, and then your app will launch. So, and DYLD has this nice problem that if you split your code into frameworks, which you should do because it's a good architectural pattern, then it will get slower because Apple says that frameworks are good, but just stick to 5-ish, which, yeah, it's not really that good. And this year's DubDub, they launched a new DYLD, which introduces a thing called launch closure, which is a very interesting concept. This is everything that is needed to launch your app. So all the dependencies already parsed and mapped out, all the system calls, all those things. And the new DYLD is actually 3 separate things. So it's a out-of-processor daemon that does the parsing and compiling. It's a very small launch closure runner that will be running in your process. And it's a launch closure caching service. So the new DYLD will look like this. And the good stuff is that all the things in red will now happen during your app's install. So DYLD will generate the launch closure for your app when your app is being installed, when it's being updated, or when an operating system is being updated. So the problem with parsing loads of dylibs just disappears, because that closure will be cached, and the thing that runs in your process will be really small. That will just read the launch closure, verify it, and do the mapping. And the big question is, when can we have this? I don't know. Because Apple said that they will launch support for their own apps in all the new OSs, so High Sierra and OS 11, all Apple apps will use DYLD3, but they didn't give me an answer when they will launch this for third-party apps. So they said soon in 2017. So we'll find out. So I'm really hoping for this to happen, because our app launches from cold launch, it sometimes takes like 5 seconds to launch, which is really crap experience, and DYLD3 just should take care of that. And this was all based on a single talk, or something about your app's launch performance, and it had a couple of other good things. So there's a new tool that allows you to instrument static initializers. If you're using Swift, then this tool won't help you because Swift doesn't have static initializers, and it's a good thing. But if you're still using C and Objective-C, you can actually instrument into what DYLD is doing. But to do that, you need iOS 11 and High Sierra because it has something in the High Sierra's kernel that allows it to do that. And also, if you are using DLOpen or other such arcane magic, don't, because Apple says that currently the semantics of DLOpen, DL close, and other those things are really not clear, and even they don't really understand those things. So if you're using those, the semantics might change. And if you are using those, then I suggest you to look at the talk, because they have slides there how you can give Apple feedback to tell them that we are using these things for this thing, and please make this work with the ILD 3. We're done.
Good talk last year as well. So
Yeah, there's another talk that last year they had a talk that went really deep into how DYLD2 works. So how all this parsing Mako headers and all this stuff works.
so why your app might be slow
Yeah.
and it's using lots of CocoaPods in the framework.
Yeah, so CocoaPods is a different thing because CocoaPods are compiled into a single dylib. But if you have separate frameworks in your own project like we do, then these will be different files. And I went to the lab with for the app startup, and the engineer told me there that the slowness actually might be due to file system. That actually the file system is slow enough that if you have many small files the DYLD needs to gather, then this might be the case why it's slow, because if you're doing a warm launch, then the file system might have cached all those things. Yep, and that's it.